them there.
This the setup.
They put them there on purpose,
Y'all know where
bro.
we at.
They gonna set them hoes right up on the route.
Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is.
Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to?
We gotta do better.
Ain't no damn construction.
Gotta do better.
Ain't no damn construction around here.
I see.
Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay.
Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better. Get this.
Hey, no, that's still worth money though. That's
Guys, these are fucking minority artists! 80% of those fucking artists are minorities! What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Yo, what the fuck? Yeah, you're safe. You're safe. You're safe.
Come on! No, stop! No, people work for this stuff. Fuck that!
All these people got money. All these people got money. Sure. That's sure. Go get it. That shit's insurance. That's not what we here for. That's wrong, bro. We better than that, bro. Don't be like, bro. Fuck that shit. Real, bro. We not here for that. Move, bro. We not here for that. This is niggas' life, bro. Niggas put their life in this shit. You tripping. And not the niggas who did that something. Y'all tripping. On God, bro. Y'all looking for the wrong people. You hear me? This the wrong fucking that shit, nigga. This shit, bro. That's why niggas treat us like this, bro. We act like we ain't never been nowhere. What are we doing? We don't protest. Get the fucking cops.
He's winning. Hey, the guys can win us all day. No. We're all together. No. There's been no division here. Shouldn't have been talking shit.
Medical attention. Will you pay attention to guys? He's unconscious. No sense in that shit at all. Yeah, trapped. And instead you make it really? Making it worse. Come on, man. You got fucking linebackers knocking an old guy over. Yeah.
It's not shit, bro. Yo, GameStop don't even send me that. Yo, get your money.
Holy shit. You guys are quick. Holy shit. What the fuck?
That's your home, my niggas there, right?
The pizza place, Cartwright's, and again, this is called the Gower Gulch, and we're just seeing, unfortunately, the same pattern of behavior that we've seen over and over and over. So there's a little bit of a building here, so we'll maneuver Sky 5 into a position where you're able to get a shot at that. But you can see nobody there putting up any resistance, nobody there trying to stop them. It's just a free flow of people that are running in and out of this store. Stand by 1 second. TV5's got Alpha Papa and the other.
Yeah, there you see the trouble unfolding in Hollywood. Just moments after hearing from the mayor and from the police chief of LAPD pleading with the public not to do exactly what we're seeing. The sun hasn't even gone down yet, and trouble is well underway in Hollywood.
And 2 minutes into the curfew that will go until 6 o'clock in the morning, we now have looting that is occurring here at the Gower Gulch, which is located on Sunset Boulevard and Gower at the Rite Aid. You could see that there are parts of its storefront that are boarded up, but it doesn't seem to be a deterrent for these looters, and they were able to get in. And not sure if this particular Rite Aid was already open and they just were able to get in. But this has been a familiar scene that we have seen throughout the weekend when the looting begins, and the message of the protesters now turns to the attention of looters. You now see some black and whites coming in here trying to get a handle of the situation. Larry Welkin, Sky 5.
Well, police officers just rolled in here with mobile field force, and I can tell you that it's just unbelievable to watch. Over to the right side, let's go back out onto the street and tilt up a little bit. Literally cars just driving up, loading up, and driving away. It is not even, it's just so unbelievable to watch the organization with which these groups work. They come up, they've got cars waiting, it's well coordinated, just really awful to see. But now the LAPD has taken over the Gower Gulch, so nobody else going into the stores, but nobody really being pursued at this point either.
Who looted Target did this to you? You were peacefully protesting?
I was peacefully protesting and trying to block the way so they couldn't leave with Target closed stuff.
Are you okay?
They attacked me from back, and from front and back. They punched me in my mouth, my head. I got punched in the head several times. I got grabbed from behind. People grabbed my wheelchair. They stole my keys. They stole everything they could off of me. I got maced in the face. I got covered with fire extinguisher stuff. I've already seen the EMTs and they told me to go home, but somebody just had milk and that's supposed to help with mace, and it's just making my...
Praise the Lord, my brothers and sisters. So I got a word, and it's going to make some people upset, but God put this in my heart this morning. So one thing that the Lord has definitely been showing me is that he is exposing everybody's heart. All right, I don't care what race you are, what background you are. He's exposing a lot of people's hearts. And so one of the things that I saw on the news today, I think, let's see, it was ABC. All right, it says LA Pride will stage protest march in solidarity with what's going on. So pretty much, you know, what happened with George Floyd, which was awful, man. It was just disgusting. It was wicked. But here's my question about that. Now watch this. A lot of people are going to get mad about this. These protests right now is being praised by politicians, being pushed by the media. But last week, they were locking people up for going to the beach. Or, you know, the week before, you know what I'm talking about. The last couple of weeks, if you were outside of your home, you were going to get arrested because you weren't following social distancing. And they were giving people tickets. But now, right, you got this right here, okay? And they're praising it. They're saying this is good. Now, this is where God really was showing me something. And I was like, man, when I thought about it. All of these pastors, okay, a lot of pastors were saying, oh, it's wisdom. Keep the church. And I'm talking about the black church first. They were saying it's wisdom. Keep the church closed. Keep the church shut down. It's not wise. We got to obey the laws of the land. But now these same pastors are praising people for going out and protesting and rioting and not following social distancing. I told you guys the other day, we should see a huge rise in the coronavirus numbers if everything that they were saying was true. These same pastors were talking about, oh, we don't want to break the laws of the land. We gotta follow the laws of the land. So they wouldn't break the law to go to church, but they're going to break the law to go riot and to go protest. Now, there's a difference. Let's be clear. I don't have no issue with protesting. I have an issue with the rioting and breaking stuff, because the Bible says doing to others as you would have done unto you. Any Christian who's justifying that is wrong. Please don't use this thing about Jesus flipping tables. He did that because that was his Father's house, okay? And he was cleaning the people out. It had nothing to do with no social injustice or what people trying to make it, okay? And so the problem that I have is the hypocrisy. Let's be real, because God is exposing hearts. A lot of black churches didn't want to open, and they only wanted to stay home, not because of the coronavirus, because you're not scared to go protest and riot. You just didn't want to open because Trump was saying open. Let's be real. I'm telling you what God showed me. He's exposing people's hearts. Okay? So you pastors, you didn't want to break the law to go to church. But now you say, oh yeah, let's go out. Let's ignore the social distance. All of a sudden, wisdom goes out the window. All of a sudden, all this talk about wisdom and staying home and protecting life, it goes out the window. And not only that, we're going to go out, we're going to break some stuff, destroy some stuff. How is that Christian like? I'm telling you, God is exposing the fakeness. He's exposing the hypocrisy. He's exposing the junk that is in people's hearts. And let's be fair. Every time something happens with like an African-American man who's unarmed and he's getting killed by the police, he's exposing the prejudice in a lot of white people's hearts as well. You know, Brother Marcus, I try to keep it straight down the line. I try to keep it fair. That the reality is this, is that God is exposing everybody's heart. He's exposing the wickedness in everybody's heart in some way or some form. And he wants to deal with people's hearts. He wants to address it. But it blows my mind how fake the media is. It blows my mind how fake many of these pastors is. Because just a week or two ago, y'all was saying, nah, we ain't going to open up the church. We don't care what the government says. We got to do social distancing. We got to stay home. But now you telling people, yeah, well, you know, hey, the riots, man, they ain't heard our voice in a long time. So you go harder for your culture than you do for the kingdom. Come on, man. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Y'all don't want to hear that truth today. You go harder. You say, I'll break the law for my culture. I'll defy the law for my culture, but I won't do it for the kingdom. You know why? Because the truth is, if you search your heart, it never was about coronavirus. It was political. It's like people just forgot all about the coronavirus now. All these people who were mad. Look at these people having church. They're still having church during the coronavirus. But now you got people marching and protesting during the coronavirus. But it's all good now. It's all good now. The media loves it now. They were sending police to the churches. They were sending police to the churches, arresting pastors for having church during the coronavirus. But it's all good now when people are breaking stuff, looting stuff, and in the streets in the thousands. Oh, let's praise that. But let's arrest pastors. I told you guys. People don't want to listen. People don't want to listen. People are fake. That's why you better seek God for yourself. Man, God put this thing in my heart, man. Somebody showed me an old video from 2016. Some of you who've been following me for years know that I've been prophesying about this stuff forever. And they brought it back to my memory. It was a video I posted in 2019 from a vision that I had in 2017 of towers that were being built. And I told people I saw the towers, I saw Black Lives Matter, I saw Republicans, I saw Democrats, I saw China, all these different people. It was like they were shooting fire arrows at each other, trying to tear each other down. And the hand of God, he saw it and he just came down and he knocked all the towers off the table and made everybody bow down. I'm telling you, man, we better wake up to the times we're living in. You better seek ye first the kingdom of God. I don't care if you black, you white, you Hispanic, you Republican, you Democrat. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. It's time to seek the kingdom of God. It's time to push the kingdom of God because everything else, man, it's hypocrisy. It's a lot of fake stuff going on. It's a lot of hidden agendas going on. It's a lot of jacked up hearts. It's a lot of people in positions of leadership who are prejudiced, who are bitter, who are racist on both sides, not just white folks, black folks too. Come on, man. Who wants the real? Who wants the truth? Not your truth. Who wants the real truth? These people, these pastors were saying, nah, we got to stay home. Coronavirus, social distancing. Same pastors I see right now telling people, yeah, it's about time they heard us. Let's go protest. So you can break the law for culture, but you can't break the law for kingdom. Come on, man. Y'all not ready for me today. People don't want to hear this kind of truth because what you're going to do is you're going to get mad. You're going to start talking about how I'm light-skinned. You're going to talk about how I don't get it. You're going to make all these excuses not to hear the facts that I'm talking about right now. Come on, man. Come on. People are fake. And then the media, they say, oh, yeah, you know, the gay pride parade, they're going to organize and they're going to come together. They're going to organize. They're going to come together. This is awesome. They're going to march for Black lives. But when we was having church, that was a problem. They made you scared to go to church, but not Walmart. Come on, man. Y'all know they banned my other Facebook page. I'm actually on my wife's phone right now. I made her an admin on my other page. That's the only reason I could go live with this right now. This is why I tell you, study for yourself. Seek God for yourself. Don't get caught up with what's going on in the world, because when you start promoting other things above kingdom, you're going to be looking at the world through a stained lens. And that's why you can be so ignorant to Satan's devices that you can sit there one week and say, oh, yeah, we got to obey the laws of the land and not have church. But the next week you telling people to go out there and protest and you just forgot all about coronavirus. God sees your heart. Your heart is getting exposed. He sees it. He sees all that garbage. So all of you who were saying, oh, these people need to stop having church. No, let's be real. You had an issue because it was white folks doing it. I'm telling you what God is showing me. And I know I'm going to make some of you mad. Now, there were some black churches that were open too. But if we being honest, for the majority, most big black pastors, they was like, oh, y'all got to stay inside. It's unwise. And they singing a whole different tune now. Man, God is exposing people, man. I pray every day. I say, Lord, keep my heart, keep my mind. Don't allow me to be, led astray. Even me, I don't want to be hypocritical. I don't want to be fake. I said, Lord, just check me, watch me, observe. Pray that prayer, because I'm telling you, most of these people in these positions, they don't pray. And God is exposing these prophets, these fake prophets. All these guys who've been prophets all these years talking about, oh, you're going to get a new car, you're going to get a new house, but ain't had nothing to say about none of this. God is showing who the real voices are. Pay attention. Love you guys. Be blessed, be encouraged. In Jesus' name, share this video because I'm banned. Let people know.
Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! He has his knee on his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! Fence line! Fence line! Get your fucking knee off his neck! He's pushing out! Get the fuck off him! Get your fucking knee off him!
This is going to be, it went from, it looked like a completely intact store to a complete loss in just a number of minutes you can count on your fingers. It's astonishing how fast this thing went up. Yeah, it looks like it.
Thank you. Thank you. They did it.
Sarah, look at this. Dozens of people still coming in and out of the Hot Topic store here. I just saw probably 30 people pile out of here 20 or so seconds ago. It is just such a sickening sight, just like what we saw at the T-Mobile store. I actually watched this window be smashed. It's not clear if this is an extension. I think this is maybe just maybe like the rear entrance of the Hot Topic store. So incredible wide scale, just total stripping down of all of these stores. Total chaos at the Pike in downtown Long Beach.
St. John's Church is on fire. The parish office, we went downstairs and it is on fire. I'm going to walk this way, and this is awful. We saw graffiti. Once the door was broken, we saw something similar happen earlier. And as you can see, there's definitely a fire here. This is the parish office. Here, come on back. Come on back. Come on back up. That's good. So they're trying to clear the area, Shannon, with the pepper spray and with the tear gas to try to clear people.
Anything we can do to get it out?
No, I don't know that there's anything we can do to put that out. I didn't see an extinguisher.
It ain't going good at all. They just beat the ever-loving snot out of 3 or 4 guys, and it's going again. God damn it. The Antifa guys are not doing well here. They're all getting the shit kicked out of them.
I can't breathe, man. Justice for Floyd. Justice for Floyd.
Oh, it's going bad. The Antifa guys are being chased like crazy. Told you, Ukaipa ain't the place to be. Those are Antifa guys running. Antifa guys they're getting the shit kicked out of them. Oh no, this isn't fair, guys. This isn't fair. Come on. The Antifa guys are just you can't come to Ukaipa with this shit. You can't come to Ukaipa. They're getting the fucking shit kicked out.
Go home, bro. Go home. Get the fuck out of here. Here's your shoe. Hey, homie. Hey, here's your shoe, dog.
Enough, guys. We don't need to follow them. I know we don't need to follow them. They've had enough. Holy shit, shit's hitting the fan here, but like I said, this Ukaipa, the Antifa guys got their ass handed.
Ask you a quick question. You know, you're still out here in violation of the curfew. Yeah. Why are you still marching?
Because I matter. My family matter. My friends and fans matter. I got nephews. I got nieces. I got sisters. I got a mama. I got a daddy. I got friends. I got peers. I got all these people standing right here. They fucking matter. Their lives matter. Nobody gives a fuck about us. Okay? Unless we get violent. Y'all care about all this shit being burned down? But what about when the KKK burned our shit down? Where were y'all then?
There's a lot of passion.
Where were y'all complaining at then? Because they fucked our whole nation up. They fucked up generations of kids.
So you can hear the passion.
We were in the ground for kids.
You can hear the passion in her voice.
We stand for the people who can't speak for themselves. We stand for the ones who's been knocked down. The ones who can't stand up no more because they don't have a voice anymore. We stand for peace. We stand for equality. We stand for unity. We stand for love. No justice. No justice.
And she's the one who's been leading the chant as they march through the streets. And you can hear it in her voice, Chris. That is the passion that a lot of the people have brought onto these streets here in Long Beach, and they say they want to keep getting that message out. Chris?
Understandable pain.
Look at this nigga. That motherfucker throwing shit at them, bro. Motherfuckers spraying pepper spray at them. Oh shit. Motherfuckers finna spill alcohol on me, bro. Hell no. Bro, he hit that nigga.
Oh shit!
He throwing shit at them.
Bitch, I came up off a car, nigga.
He throwing shit at them, bro.
Man, I came up off a car. Bitch, I came up off a car.
This nigga said he came up off a car.
That, man.
Yo, put them keys down, bro.
Man, fuck this
I lost
shit.
my keys, bro. I can't imagine what another person.
It's a dealership car, man. Fuck all that.
I can't imagine what another nigga going through, bro.
Bitch, I came up off a car.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's going in there. It's going in there, bitch. Oh. Hey, beat you out. You got the white people.
This nigga saying she worked for the white people. This girl, I think she work here, so I don't think she trying to. I think she's trying to guard the store and shit. Look at them, they're throwing tear gas. Oh, actually, no, that's not tear gas. That's a fire extinguisher. That's a fire extinguisher. Yeah, no. Outside my phone. Yo, why she risk her life for a fucking store? Yo, why she risking her life for?
Bitch, I came up off a car.
That's the car keys, bro. Stop looking. No, this nigga told me he came up with car keys. Bro, why is she trying to protect the store, bro? Like, she really finna get hurt, bro. Like, she gotta be safe, bro. Like,
look how many fucking people are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look how fucking many. They're defending a murderer's house. They are defending a murderer's house.
Fuck y'all, bro. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. They didn't do that. Be good. Be good. My people, be good. Be good. Be good. Be good. Fuck up, bro.
I own the business. We close, okay?
¿Tú estás cerrado?
Yeah,
Ok, está bien. Okay. Cuidado, ¿ok?
Sí, no, ya me voy yo para
Déjenle que
adentro.
fuera a hacer trabajo.
Háganse que van a agarrar cabanazos a la verga. Háganse. Para atrás, para abajo. Ciérrale. Vámonos. Aguas. Aguas, Aguas. Vete en la puerta. You need to come in.
Let's go back. There's somebody in there with a rifle. Back up. There's somebody in there with a rifle. Back up.
Andan unos güeyes armados en el pawn shop. Aguas.
Friends, I have just about had an absolute enough of all this nonsense that so many people are buying into. Are you kidding me? This so-called Blackout Tuesday. I've seen so many of my friends posting all black posts and then talking about how Black Lives Matter and hashtagging it. You're being duped, just like all of us are being duped that any of these riots have anything whatsoever to do with the death of George Floyd. They've got nothing to do with the death of George Floyd. They've got everything to do with anarchists, individuals that are hijacking the death, absolutely disgracing the death and the memory of George Floyd. These riots have nothing to do with it. And for you that are virtual signal, I've got some good, well-meaning white friends of mine that feel it's their duty, it's their obligation to make these posts and say Black Lives Matter. You're feeling white guilt for no reason. As a member of the black community, can I tell you something? You're not doing me or anybody in the black community any favors by posting an all-black post and hashtagging Black Lives Matter. You know what? All lives matter. But let me just make it really clear so that you're all aware of what Black Lives Matter really stands for. They would love to defund police stations. Is that really what you're for? Do you really want to defund the police department? Because please tell me, who are you going to call when somebody comes busting down your door, wanting to loot and riot in your house and take everything you got and maybe do even more? You're going to call the police. You're going to want to call the police. Well, Blue Lives Matter. You know what else they're for? They're for voting rights for illegals. Now, again, I am for anybody coming to this country, but do it legally. Anybody that breaks in, whether it's a store or breaks into a country, shouldn't have any rights whatsoever. And illegal aliens do not deserve rights in this country. And that's exactly what the Democrats would love. That's what Black Lives Matter would love. You know what else they're for? They're for reparations. Oh, because poor old me was born with dark skin. I now need the white man to help me get by. Are you kidding me? No. Let me hopefully make this really clear for anybody out there in the white community or light-skinned community, Asian, whatever. For you that feel like you need to make sure that black Americans know that you're not racist, you're not racist. You don't have to say it. You don't have to show it. Racism is not an issue in this country that's going to keep anybody from achieving their dreams. We live in the land of the free, the home of the brave, the home of opportunity. This is the land of opportunity. Every single person has an opportunity to get up, put their best foot forward, get out, find a job when our economy gets back after COVID and now these riots. Find yourself a job, which there will be plenty because thankfully underneath this administration, jobs were booming before COVID and before these riots. This administration and this president's leadership will get us back on track for that. So again, you're not doing anybody any favors posting these clips, these blackout clips, hashtagging Black Lives Matter. You know, the other thing, I think I just said it, they're for reparations. You know, I don't need anybody to feel like they need to pay for the sins of maybe your grandparents, or just pay for the sin of being white because you feel like, well, it was a whole bunch of white folks that did it to black folks, and so I need to pay for that. No, you don't need to pay for that. I don't hold you responsible for that. And anybody out there that wants to hold you responsible for maybe the sins of your great-grandparents or grandparents, they're lunatics. It's asinine. I'm not responsible for the sins of my parents or my grandparents or my great-grandparents, whatever they may have been. And I don't hold you responsible for anybody in your past history that may have done something to somebody. Who knows? The whole thing is garbage. It's a bunch of hogwash. There's a leftist liberal agenda to tear this country apart by race, if they can. And everybody that's virtue signaling and posting these blackout pictures, it's just, you're buying right into it. Friends, all lives matter. And if we have any privilege at all, any of us, it's because we're privileged to live in the greatest country on the face of the world, on the face of the earth, in the history of the world. We, as Americans, have privilege, but it's American privilege. And we don't see race. We don't see color. If anything, we should see that we're all a part of the same race, the human race. And for those of us out there that believe in God like I do, and I'm so thankful for his love that did change my heart and wake me up to know the truth, we should be the ones leading by example and saying all lives matter, and Jesus is truly the only way for salvation. He's the only way out of a life of victimhood mentality. He is the only way. He's the truth and he's the life. Friends, if you agree with me, please share this message, and please do not post any blackout picture on your social media and think you're doing anybody any favors. If you like this message,
here. Back up. Get out of here. Go. Keep going. Keep moving.
She's walking away!
We got plenty of time here.
Are you okay? I'm getting shot! I'm getting... Katie, are you okay?
Hey, do that! Get the fuck on! Get the fuck off! Touch me either. You do again. What the fuck you gonna do about it? Nothing. Hey, I'm leaving.
He's not doing anything! He's in protest!
Go! Get the fuck off! Go! Get the fuck off! Get out of here!
They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in! Get in!
Bro, with your feet on his neck, man, you get off the
His nose is bleeding. Like, come on now.
That's raw right there with his feet on his neck.
Look at his nose.
You see your knee on his neck. Yeah, you got your feet right on his neck, officer. He ain't even resisting arrest.
I cannot breathe.
You just a grown, you're a tough guy. You're a tough guy, huh? I say you're a tough guy. You're not even resisting arrest, bro.
His whole nose is bleeding.
Fight with him?
Bro, but why you just sitting there? He ain't doing nothing now. Put him in the car.
It'll kill me.
How long y'all gotta hold him down?
This is why you don't do drugs, kids.
It ain't about drugs, bro. You know that's bogus right now, bro. You know it's bogus. You can't even look at me like a man because you a bum, bro. He's not even resisting arrest right now, bro.
His nose is bleeding.
You stopping his breathing right now, bro. You think that's cool?
That's what.
Get off of his neck!
Still on him, bro.
Yes, look at that,
Back on the street.
Are you serious? Bro, are you serious? And you gonna keep your thing on your neck? He ain't handcuffed,
Look at him.
bro.
Just
You're a real man, bro. You're a real man, bro. I trained with these dumbass.
The fact that you guys aren't checking his pulse and doing compressions if he needs that, you guys are on another level.
Oh my God, bro.
And then he just gonna pull him
They
up
just
there like
dragging
that,
him
bro.
like, come on now.
And I have your name tag. in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Get in.
Oh, God, that hurt.
No, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Get in.
Five o'clock tonight and runs through till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, we have seen the use of the flashbangs, those long walls, basically, that Seattle police have formed with bikes and with officers on foot. And so this may be that kind of enforcement that we see to support that curfew. If people try to cause more damage, try to create more chaotic situations that we saw earlier today, if they try to do that tonight, we may see some of those officers deploying more of those flashbangs and working in that organized manner. Now, that 5 p.m. curfew also in effect tomorrow night and lasting through 5 a.m. in the morning. And so residents, visitors, people are being told to stay in their homes and to refrain from traveling in and throughout Seattle. Let's go to Deborah Horn right now. She's Durkin, I'm sorry. Let's go to Mayor Jenny Durkin right now and some of what she said earlier today.
The curfew does apply to the entire city, and so if people are out, we'd like them to get home. If people are on their way to work, obviously they can transit to work. The purpose of this is so people stay home and aren't on the streets. Obviously, we're still under a modified stay-home order in the city of Seattle, so people should be staying home unless they're going to a necessary business or otherwise. So the curfew applies citywide.
And so that's very clear to everyone. Despite it happening here in downtown, it is a city-wide curfew. They want people at home as law enforcement fills the streets and they try to reinstate order. And as a lot of these businesses, where you can see the looting happening at this Starbucks, a lot of these businesses are trying to secure their windows, their doors, and clean up some of this damage. This was earlier tonight when looters were jumping into Nordstrom. They bashed through one of the side windows there, and we saw people running in and throwing items out of the Nordstrom to the group that was unfortunately cheering and also recording this exercise, recording these actions. Many people wearing masks, but some of them not.
And let's keep in mind, this is all happening during a pandemic. We have heard from the Seattle Fire Chief urging people to keep a social distance. Clearly not happening here. And despite many of these people wearing masks, some of them have not, as they have crowded into the streets in close quarters to each other. Damage and injuries, certainly not something anybody wants, but we also do not want the further spread of this deadly virus that we are also fighting right now. To the left of your screen, as people are looting in this video from earlier tonight, you can see the burnt out frame of one of those cars burning in front of Nordstrom until Seattle firefighters were able to safely put out those fires. Some of those cars were Seattle police cruisers. And the mayor said earlier tonight that 2 AR-15 rifles were actually stolen out of police cruisers. One of those rifles was recovered. The other is believed to still be outstanding. Multiple officers hurt, though not seriously, as we know at this point, and also multiple other people hurt. Taking another look at some of those scorched and smoking frames of vehicles. At some points when the fire appeared to be out, we later saw demonstrators circle back and throw Molotov cocktails or other items at those cars to set them on fire once again. All these people, that man right there, pulling a door off of a Seattle police cruiser, or at least trying to pull off the door as they damaged that. And you can see what appears to be some sort of jacket there and the graffiti on that cruiser.
Move, bitch! She's stabbing people! Hey! She got a knife! She got a knife! Get out of here! Leave her alone! She got a knife! She's stabbing people!
God, that's just gonna travel every fucking where.
Look, the police didn't even want to get off the highway. They finally set the police station on fire.
They fucking done with they shit. They can't handle this shit no more. Fuck y'all. Fuck the police.
Bro.
They snapped, bro. They literally snapped. Are you on live, babe?
Yeah.
They snapped. Oh my fucking God, bro.
The highway is on fire, y'all.
Oh my.
That was a damn good window. I already know his hand's vibrating. I'm just gonna film.
Shoot the white phone! Shoot the white phone!
If you're here to be a bootlicker, then please just leave, because this video is going to be a bit controversial. What's up, everybody? Hunter Avalone here. Welcome back to Everyday Avalone, and today we're getting a bit intense. We're going to be talking about something that's pretty disturbing, but that's because there's a lot of disturbing shit happening right now in the real world. Today we're talking about police. Now, with the recent protests because of George Floyd's horrible, unjustified murder, there has been a lot of footage kind of coming forward showing police officers acting far less than honorable. And I just want to start off, I know I have to preface this with kind of a trigger warning almost. I don't think that all cops are bad people. I think there are plenty of good people that decide to be police officers because they want to serve and they want to protect. However, I do think that the police system is largely corrupt and needs to be reformed. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this clip of the police officer pushing an old man who was 75 years old. Look at this.
2 police officers have been suspended after a video captured the moment in which a 75-year-old man was pushed to the ground during protests.
See that? So this guy, you know, he was just approaching them. There's actually some better video footage that shows he might have been holding a police helmet he was trying to return. And anyway, they go over there, they just push him back, and he falls on the ground. And now these officers were suspended, right? So the initial thought would be, hey, those officers were some bad police officers. They were bad cops, but that doesn't speak for all cops. And I'm not saying it does. However, it does indicate an underlying corruption within the police force, and I'll explain why. After these police officers were suspended, 57 members of Buffalo police team resign in response to suspended officers who pushed elderly protester. We have 2 bad cops pushing an old man, and then we have 57 other bad cops who are actually, they're okay with that behavior. They're okay pushing elderly men to the ground to the point that their head literally cracks and blood can be seen, because they have decided to resign in support of the officers who were suspended. This is more than a couple bad cops, at least within the Buffalo police force. So again, I just want to make it abundantly clear that I do not dislike all cops. I don't think all cops are bad people, but I do think the system of policing is corrupt and it needs to be changed. I mean, even more so, we know for a fact that police have historically oppressed people of color and minority groups. Thankfully, not nearly to the extent that they used to. However, there is still some corruption and some racism that motivates some of these policies. For example, black men are 21 times more likely to be shot by a police officer than a white man. And the first thought that comes to anyone's mind, I'm sure, is, well, there are more police in black areas, right? Because there's more crime in black areas. And the reason there's more crime in black areas is because there's more poverty in black areas. So then that begs the question, why are black people disproportionately living in poverty? Well, you can trace that back historically to times far back when Jim Crow was around, even back when slavery was around. There were a lot of previous racist things that America did, and although I think we've made fantastic strides by all means, the reason that so many black people still live in poverty is because of America's racist history. It doesn't mean people are racist today, but it just means that America at a time was racist, and that history is still negatively affecting people of color. And one of those things that are also still affecting people of color is the police force. I also think there are a lot of cops that don't want to do the wrong thing. I think there are a lot of cops who, again, they're honorable. They want to do the right thing. They want to protect and serve. However, the way the police force and the police system works incentivizes them not only to use their absurd amount of power disproportionately towards people of color, but it allows them and it incentivizes them to act sometimes violently towards civilians. And it's very important that we hold our police accountable, because the police are agents of the state. Part of holding the police accountable, I think, is condemning the police when they do something wrong. No one is above reproach. So today, we're going to be looking over some footage that has recently surfaced showing multiple police officers acting violently in a very corrupt way. It's really quite scary, so let's take a look. So here are some protests earlier, and watch as the officer is the one who actually engages first.
You can't fucking do that!
Look, he just started... See, and again, then the people begin acting violently and kind of lunging at the officer, but he made the first move here. They were saying, don't touch me, stand back, and then out of nowhere, boom, he just pushes that girl back. And these kind of things have happened repeatedly. This officer takes this guy here, there's a stick here on the ground. Look at this. Look at this. They're smashing his... That's corruption, my friends. And the fact that police officers are statistically so unlikely to actually be convicted and prosecuted for these violent crimes is absolutely disgusting and despicable. This police officer, this fucking pig, just literally smashed this guy's head into a stick as they were arresting him for no fucking reason. Absolutely appalling. Here's another one. Look at, officer runs, starts just attacking the guy, beating him. Look at this. The police officer engaged. Even if, you know what? Look at him run. Even if this guy right here was being disrespectful, even if this guy was saying some really offensive shit to this guy, that by no means justifies an officer who took an oath to protect and serve lunging at this boy and beginning to beat him. Here, I believe there are actually protesters trying to carry someone away who was hit with a rubber bullet, and then the police begin firing upon these people as well. Look! Look! I know, it doesn't speak for all cops. I know that there are individually good cops. However, the system that incentivizes this kind of behavior is corrupt and rotten to its fucking core, and the fact that these officers are engaging in this behavior is disgusting as well. Now, here's something else I want to talk about. Now, I know that sometimes people resist arrest and the officers have to do what they have to do to try and subdue the person. And sometimes I think that it's justified for an officer to use a level of force, again, especially if someone's resisting arrest. But the problem is if these officers aren't just attacking people unprovoked, they are using excessive amounts of forces while trying to arrest someone. So is this guy resisting arrest? Looks like it a little bit, yeah. So what happened was, yeah, it looks like he tried to make a little bit of a run there. So using a level of force to subdue him is okay, I think. And again, this guy shouldn't have been necessarily resisting arrest. We don't know the full story, but generally based on this video, he shouldn't have been resisting arrest. But then the officers responded by using a ridiculously abusive amount of force to try and subdue him. As you can see here, I believe they tased him, or I think they hit him with some rubber bullets, and then they just start beating him. Watch this. Look at, they just start macing the fucking people. Look at this. They just start pulling this guy down. This is an excessive amount of force, and the fact that they're pepper spraying protesters, I know that some people are not protesting and some people are just being looting pieces of shit, but these people are protesting. They're standing here, not being violent, holding fucking signs. And this guy just starts spraying the fucking people. That's ridiculous. Here's another corrupt officer. He has the people already in handcuffs and then begins pepper spraying them. Look at this. Here's one that looks fully unprovoked. They tase him for no reason, begin kicking him, and then boom, start attacking him. Like, what the fuck? What provokes this shit? These are corrupt police officers, and now I think it's to the point where this is happening too frequently for it to just be a couple bad apples. The system incentivizes this kind of behavior.
Here.
Look at this.
Police officers
pushing an old man.
Some of the crowd.
I guess that's just casual. I guess that's just protecting and serving, you know, pushing old men to the ground. when they're literally struggling with their fucking cane. So there you guys have it. You can probably tell that I was a little pissed off making this video, and that's because I think something seriously needs to change with the way that police officers are treating civilians, the way they're treating protesters, and I think that the way we can make this change happen is by holding police officers accountable. It's okay to acknowledge the bad cops, all right? That doesn't mean you hate all the police officers. It just doesn't mean that. So we need to hold our police officers accountable. It's okay to videotape them. We should make this behavior known. Blast this bad behavior for everyone to see, because we all need to be holding police accountable. All right? It's as simple as that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please give this video a like, comment below, subscribe to the channel. I will see you all soon. Peace.
Move now from that high-end watch shop, and now they're going in here just as easy as can be, and we're just watching those advertisements, that picture of merchandise just moving as they make their way past it. There's no door left there at all. It is easy access, and they're also, it looks like, as you said, the gate is up. They're calling under that gate there on the right side. Yeah.
This has been a long day, and it promises to be an even longer evening. Let me just add this as well. LA Metro, we're just getting word, LA Metro is going to suspend all transit services tonight to resume at 5:30 on Sunday morning, tomorrow morning. They just sent us an email to let us know that. So, Robert, once again, you've been tracking some of the information just west of this area, Beverly Hills. What do you have? Do you have anything on the National Guard as well?
We can tell you that it's all quiet on the Western Front comparatively to, the Los Angeles. So here's what's going on right now in Beverly Hills. It appears that they are dispersing. There's pockets of trouble here and there. That's what they tell us right now. Just spoke with the city. Captain Ed Ramirez, who is the commander of the West Hollywood Sheriff's Department, says they did have problems earlier, that protesters had surrounded the sheriff's station there at the intersection of San Vicente and Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. He said the problem with what happening right now in West Hollywood, as this curfew for West Hollywood and Beverly Hills is underway and has been underway since 8 o'clock, is that they have pockets of people who are now going, when I say pockets, maybe 2, maybe 3 people, going and vandalizing businesses there. So they have rolling patrols out in West Hollywood, in Beverly Hills, trying to stop the pockets of people that you see right now in the Fairfax district, but in smaller numbers. But it is going on now as you push west, and that is what they are trying to control. If you are home tonight, just to underline what Mayor Garcetti said earlier, that he encourages you have to stay home. A curfew order isn't in place. Just stay home, be vigilant, don't get involved, don't engage.
Is that a TV?
That is a TV monitor.
TV. Somebody's
being taken out of that store. We've watched expensive shoes, expensive watches, and now this store. So you may be trying to figure out what plans are going to be in place for tomorrow. Well, the city of LA is already looking at tomorrow, and it looks like you may be spending more time at home than you realize. NBC4 has now learned that they are getting ready to shut down some key attractions. Griffith Park, we have now just been told, will be shut down tomorrow. As well as Runyon Canyon will be shut down tomorrow. No one is going to go there. All those gates will be locked for
Robert,
either of those places.
It's the irony of it all. We're getting, we're coming to this point of COVID-19 when things were starting to open, and now shutting them down for a totally different reason.
Well, and of course, social distancing has gone out the window. The face masks have gone out the window. This is going to be something that we're probably going to be discussing in weeks after this. But right now, we have the National Guard, as we told you a short time ago, on its way to Los Angeles, 100,000 members of the National Guard. This is just one city in the nation. From people that I know across back east and down south are saying we're watching what is going on right now in Los Angeles. This has been a focal point for the nation right now, with these locations that are so well known in so many places. The Grove, iconic, Fairfax district, home of Farmers Market, Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, and Kathy and Colleen, as we talked about for hours now, this was the purpose and the intention of many demonstrators throughout the day that said they wanted to hit these areas that are well known. And you can see the damage that's being done right now.
What is especially sad as you look at this street, if you're familiar with the Melrose area or the Fairfax area, these are not large chain stores. These are the mom and pop stores, the local businesses the mayor's been talking about for 6 weeks. They have been under those, restrictions because of COVID-19. All of a sudden, they get to open in the last week or so, and now this happens.
And as the mayor said of Beverly Hills and Mayor Garcetti, this was supposed to be a weekend where they were going to allow people back into stores, and they're going back in all right. You're looking at it right there. This was the weekend where people were going to have in-store shopping, some in-store dining, and now this is just the looting that is underway on the streets of Los Angeles and stretching in so many pockets of our city that, again, Beverly Hills has had to call for reinforcements from the Antelope Valley, from the sheriff's departments up there to come down and assist. Chief Villanueva of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has had to ask for the National Guard to come in and help because our resources are eventually going to be tapped out, ladies. There's only going to be so many hours that they can be on their feet and trying to manage this situation because everywhere they turn, as we see right now in other cities, there's trouble in just about every block.
We've been on the air. The president has tweeted in all caps, fake news. And we'll leave the judgments up to the viewers seeing these live pictures. He is inside that building. And if you don't think he is watching television on a night like this, well, then you haven't been paying attention. Garrett Hake, what do you have in Lafayette Park?
Well, Brian, if the president's watching, I'm looking at his house right now, and there's nothing fake about this. This storage facility that we've been looking at all night that's completely engulfed now, I think is the reason that the park police cleared us out here. They wanted to get fire engines down this block to try to address that, but those DCFD engines have moved on. I don't know whether it was a lack of access to water or if they didn't feel safe enough even in that situation here. And in the meantime, the park police have pushed us back yet again, including giving my photographer and I a little bit of a boost, getting out of the area here as they try to create a little bit more space. But I want to direct you to this, because this is what this is really all about. This is still peaceful protesters trying to come out here and express their anger, their frustration, their exhaustion with what has gone on in this country when it comes to police brutality and police violence. These people are trying to do this peacefully. They have been trying to self-police the folks who have been here throwing rocks and bottles and fireworks so that they can deliver this message to this exact audience, these police officers, to the man who lives in the house temporarily down the street. They are trying to make a very clear point right now. And in the face of all of this, now with most of the crowd gone, with most of the bottle throwing, the rock throwing, the pepper spraying done, they're doing exactly that.
It's hard to find a place to begin the story of what we're seeing play out in front of the White House, where so much history has taken.
Yo, fuck him up.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
This is my first YouTube video, first social media video, so I'm not sure if I'm even doing this right, but here it go. I just want to say something. Just got into a beef with my best friend over some political issues. I just wish people would wake up and realize that Trump is not fighting against you. Trump is not fighting against black people. He's not fighting against Spanish people. He's not fighting against transgender. He's not fighting against Mexicans or none of that shit. Trump is fighting against globalists. Globalists that don't have nothing to do with none of us. Globalists. There are people who believe in one world order, one world agenda, the bankers, the money, the movie makers. They the ones who hate Trump for a reason, because he's not their plan. He's not part of their agenda. Trump done went over there, got North Korea to put down their guns. He done squashed the beef with motherfucking Russia. He done told China to stop playing with us and pay us our money. Went to the European Union, told them that y'all owe us money, time to pay up, or y'all not gonna get no security. He done cut the goddamn corporate tax from 35% to 21%, making us more fucking competitive in the global market. Black people unemployment rate is at its all-time low. Women's unemployment rate all-time low. Spanish people unemployment rate all-time low. You got jobs coming back to Pennsylvania, people pouring steel again in America, shit that they said that we wasn't gonna never have again. And they still try to make this a black and white issue. Now is not the time for angry black people to stand up. Now is not the time for fucking angry Mexicans to stand up. Now is not the time for fucking transgenders to stand up. Now is the time for fucking patriots to stand up. Patriots who love America. When I found out, it's most motherfuckers don't like America. They say fuck America when it's all said and done at the end of the argument. It's time for patriots to stand up. I understand America got a rough history, but a lot of people died for this country that was black, who died for this country too. And you just don't love the country. Go to the fuck somewhere else. Go somewhere else if you don't like America. Okay? Because this shit ain't about you. I'm black. I don't even know white people. This shit ain't even about me. This is about America. We've been losing on every fucking thing, on everybody money across the world, but nobody don't owe us shit. China's stealing all our intellectual properties and selling to the rest of the world for pennies on the fucking dollar. We losing. This man trying to stand up for the country. We can fix the rest of this shit later. First, we gotta save the motherfucking ship. The ship has been sinking. Has been sinking. He's trying to put a band-aid on it, fix them up, save the country, then we can fix this racism shit and all this other shit that y'all keep crying about. It's time for patriots to stand up. I'm a fucking patriot. I love America. I love the freedom that it gives me here. Yeah, we got racism issues, but that's not the biggest issue. People don't understand. Trump supporters is about one thing: America first. That means we don't want to hear about your racist shit. We want to hear about your fucking Mexicans. We want to hear about your fucking transgenders and none of this shit. We want to talk about America first. And right now, we are winning. We are respected in the world right now. Okay, we're making money. People know not to play with us. Trump's #1 job is commander-in-chief of our military. People say, oh, Trump going to start a war. Where the fuck is the war? He squashed the beef. You hear me? Squash the beef. North Korea, no, don't fuck with us no more, little rocket boy, because we would smash your ass. Take real balls to do that shit. Ain't playing with these people. And then they try to say he colluded with Russia. Colluded with Russia for what? For peace? We was about to go with World War III fucking with Hillary and them. Don't y'all remember? Russia moved their fucking air defense to Syria. America moved their shit to Syria. The line was drawn in the sand. We were supposed to be gone. Hillary supposed to be the president. We supposed to set the shit off. It wasn't their plan for Trump to win. He may be an asshole, a bigot, all that. It don't make a motherfucker different. It was not their plan for him to win. They had a plan. And now they mad as shit. So you gotta hate your mother. Wake up. Patriots, stand up. This ain't a black or white thing. Stand up. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. Power to the people. I don't give a fuck about none of that racist shit right now. We trying to save America. America first. Make America great again.
Standing for anybody's rights. This right here has nothing to do with standing for rights and standing for the lives of black people. This is insane. Stealing. Don't screw it off on me. Makes no sense. Come on, y'all.
Please stop, guys. Dang. This ain't helping us.
happening? Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Protest until just now.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful
That was an entirely peaceful protest that was completely made violent by them.
Stop provoking us!
Who's doing the provoking? Stop it! Now talk to you. Hands up! Hands up! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! So for those of you watching, as you can always see, it's getting very hard to just breathe here. Those things really fucking explode. And you hear it, but when you see it right in front of you, holy fuck, it really explodes. Don't shoot! Don't shoot! What's up, bro? No peace! I just want to reiterate that this was an entirely peaceful protest that was just made violent entirely by the police here. We were standing there for a long time just talking. I have never personally witnessed such wanton disregard for people's lives here. Firing into the crowds like that, a group of people with their hands up. If we saw this in history class, we would all be revolted. This is happening in our streets today. Hands up, and they are shooting. Hands up, and they are shooting. That is what's happening here today. to walk away. You don't have to fucking do this. You're shooting at people with their hands up, you fucking assholes.
You are the threat! You are better than this! You are a threat! We are not a threat! We are not a threat! Stop killing us! Stop killing black people! Stop killing black people! This is a peaceful protest! It's not even fucking curfew yet, you assholes!
Yeah, it should be noted the curfew is still 19 minutes away. They have come through to start pulling everyone before that from a public street. Peacefully assembling with their hands up, being cleared from a public street. Ask yourself if you consider that a free country when you cannot peacefully protest in a public street outside a government building that is unquestionably a part of our government. It is a part of what we choose to govern us. We have a say in it. We should be able to be here and protest.
Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot!
Hello, Facebook family. I have decided to do this video. It has been weighing very heavily on my heart and on my mind as well. And it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were so many emotions and so much pressure for me to go with the popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning. But the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell, and I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it has been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard pressed to find this even in Latino America. If there is a person that is spent multiple times in prison, you are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it is something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. And as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl, and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted and on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter. If you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd baggie, you can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now, barring all of that, nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest, but what I find despicable to be is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle when he didn't, and I want to talk about what his lifestyle was leading up to this moment, and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr or should be lifted up in the Black community, and that we should be buying t-shirts with his name on it, okay? So here we have, first and foremost, let's start from the bottom of his record. And by the way, I am not saying that if you have a record, you don't deserve a second chance. I think people get arrested, and some people can serve time in prison, and I believe in second chances, but I do draw the line when it comes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances. 1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was the first prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months in prison for having less than 1 gram of cocaine on him again. In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant received a knock at the door, and she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was George Floyd, came up to the door and they forced their way inside to her home, inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant. At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. She was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car of which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. Now, you can say the media is portraying it like he was just getting his life together after, being released in 2014 following that incident. He was just getting his life together and moved and was going to start afresh. I'd like to believe all of those things, and there's a gap, and he never got in trouble for 5 years until this incident when the police were called on him again. But you are defying common sense to believe that this person suddenly became an exemplary character but happened to be high on fentanyl and methamphetamine and trying to use a bill, a fake bill, to purchase something. And so, in my opinion, George Floyd was a criminal. He was a criminal. And just because he was a criminal doesn't mean he deserved to die at the knee of a police officer. But it does mean that I am not going to play a part of the broken Black culture that always wants to martyr criminals, who wants to pretend they were these upstanding human beings that just wanted to help society, that just wanted to reach out and uplift society. And he has a rap sheet that is long, that is dangerous. He was an example of a violent criminal his entire life. Okay, up until the very last moment. Now, again, I want to be clear. This is not a defense for Derek Chauvin. No one that I have spoken to, no one in the news is defending Derek Chauvin. He is getting what he has coming to him. Okay, great. But why are we pretending that this criminal should be upheld as a citizen, as a martyr in Black America? A martyr for a fake narrative, by the way. Police brutality, racially motivated police brutality, is a myth. Okay, so let's get into that. Not only are we using this death, right, and allowing it to cause these riots and protests, pretending this was some upstanding citizen in the Black community who was tackled down and killed for no reason, right? Not only are we allowing it to inspire riots in which Black people are dying, in which actual upstanding Black citizens are dying. Case in point, I'm sure you guys have all now seen David, the sheriff that just was shot and killed because he was trying to protect a pawn shop. Please look him up if you haven't seen it. I'm blanking on his last name. His first name is David, who was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters. An upstanding citizen, an actual head of a police. He was the head of a police his entire life, 77 years old, did everything right? So we now have to kill upstanding Black citizens because a non-upstanding Black citizen, a career Black criminal, died. Now, did he deserve to die in that manner? No. I can't say it enough. No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. But I will be damned if the rest of us upstanding Black citizens have to suffer because of this incident that rarely ever happens in America. So here are some numbers for you people that are still believing that police brutality is a real, racially motivated police brutality is a real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a Black criminal. Last year, a total total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent. It matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right? Black men, 6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2018 statistics. That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation in a community where we are extreme minorities. We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population, okay? So we have a lot more encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder. 44% of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay? We commit, on average, a police officer is 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. Okay? So this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus black because it's an election year, not because black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police officers do the wrong thing? Yes. I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping, whether you are black or white. We know they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes human beings suck. In fact, if you want to attack a community for accidental slayings or brutality, did you know that doctors accidentally kill 250,000 people every year because of mistakes? Did you know that there's been doctors that have been arrested for being serial killers that just were killing people because they wanted to? Do we protest and boycott doctors? Do we assume all doctors are horrible human beings because some doctors are? Or do we realize that society is not perfectible? People suck in every profession. It is no excuse to paint society with a broad brush. It is certainly no excuse to accept a Democrat narrative, okay, that black people are being disproportionately hunted down by police officers because of the color of their skin. You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have with them, especially when it comes to violent crimes. Okay? I am not going to stand for this continual bottom-feeding narrative of us martyring people that have had 5, 6, 7 stints in prison and then pretending they were upstanding heroes to our community. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Excuse my language. It's absolute bullshit. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to play pretend. I'm tired of sitting here and being called a coon or an Uncle Tom because I won't play this bottom-feeding game with you. If you want to hang up posters of criminals on your wall and talk about them as your martyrs, do it. Do it. You can do it. Kobe Bryant was my idol, okay? I'll keep a photo of Kobe Bryant. You can keep one of George Floyd and pretend he was an upstanding human being that just once or twice put a gun across a pregnant woman's belly. Could you imagine that woman right now? That black woman, by the way, right? Watching everybody pretend this person was an upstanding human being who just at the age of 42 and 5 prison stints was going to get his life together. I mean, it's embarrassing. We are embarrassing in that regard, right? This is why we have a cycle and a toxic culture, because nobody wants to tell the truth in Black America. It's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to ask white people to bow down and apologize and do all these things for us. It's crap. It's crap. It's a lie. It's a farce. Our biggest problem is us, okay? It's why we don't talk about it when black on black crime happens. It's why we don't talk about it when 40 black people are killed in one weekend during Memorial Weekend in Chicago. We don't want to talk about any of that stuff. We don't want to talk about Baltimore. We don't want to talk about New Jersey. We don't want to talk about any of these places where black people are being slaughtered by other blacks, because that would mean that we had to be personally accountable, right? That would mean personal responsibility. We don't do personal responsibility in our community. We don't do it. We blame white people, right? We only point a camera to white people when they do something, even though we do it at a way higher rate to ourselves, right? We celebrate our drug dealers. We're the only community, right, that would ever create hashtags to free people from prison because they committed crimes, like free Meek Mill, free this rapper, free this rapper. How hard is it to not spend multiple times in prison? How difficult is that? Is that too hard for us? Is that way too high of a mountain for us to scale, to do the right thing, to be upstanding citizens? That is the call to action that I have for Black America with Blexit. Like, why do we keep fulfilling this narrative? What do you think the perception of us, by the way, is on the outside? You ever look at the comments? You ever go into like an anonymous blog and see what people say? Oh, just black people being black people. I see those racist comments. Oh, just black people got to riot. Black people got to be black people. You know how they are. Oh, just black people being ignorant. That is the perception when people get to be anonymous and talk about us. That's what they think about us, right? They think that we are the kind of people that will forever uphold criminals as the martyrs of our society, that we will never take account for the things that we do wrong, right? That we don't have it within us to educate ourselves to get ahead. And that for those of us that actually do it, well, we get called coons, right? You got Condoleezza Rice, she's a coon. Larry Elder, he's a coon. Dr. Ben Carson, brain surgeon, first ever to perform the surgery of splitting twins that are connected by the head. He's a coon, right? What a loser he is. What a stupid guy he is. Kanye West says he's not going to be told to do it because of the color of his skin. He's a coon. He's lost. He's in the sunken place. The sunken place. That's where we all are, right? Because we demand more and we will get more out of this society because we're going to get ahead, right? That's what's going to happen. We're going to get ahead. Black conservatives get ahead because we don't subscribe to this narrative. Because you're not going to catch me outside trying to grab a TV pretending that it's because a martyr named George Floyd got killed. Okay? I'm a big believer that no matter what color you are, you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. Okay? We have to do better. We have to teach our kids better. Or we're not going to get ahead, right? Anyways, this is just a rant because I have been feeling super annoyed at these depictions in society. I have no apologies here to make. George Floyd is not my martyr. He can be yours. That's all I have to say to Black America.
And there it is. Yeah, it looks like an AR-15. A person standing in the middle of that road with an AR-15 strapped around his shoulder.
Brad is on him. If you
that is chilling to see on a night when, well, it'd be chilling on any night, but on a night where there is so much tension, when there is so much anger that has been boiling over for the last week.
And he has their attention. Everyone's staring at him.
And what's amazing is people are acting as if it's normal. There's a guy with a trumpet and a guy with an AR-15 walking down the street. I can only hope, and I haven't seen any reports from SPD, we can only hope that someone has found that guy right away and taken care of that situation.
So the scene has been pretty
These are f***ing people who live in public housing! And you just made a f***ing melee! You took down bus routes! There are people who live in this neighborhood who have to go back uptown to work! And you are here profiting off of our f***ing pain! So as you f***ing protest, every single last one of you! You think about what it's like to be a black woman in this f***ing neighborhood who lives with people in public housing, who now has f***ing shit to walk through, who bag your groceries, who drop off your food, who defend you, who go uptown to a f***ing hospital to serve this community. So as you're out here, be f***ing responsible. Have a f***ing plan. You can protest all you want, but the shit I just saw take place. I know there are people out here, homeless people, who f***ing rely on those banks to charge their f***ing phone. And you think it's okay to take down a neighborhood? You don't see corporations here. There are human beings that live in this goddamn neighborhood. You do this in Harlem, you do this in Brooklyn, and I swear on everything. These people in this neighborhood deserve better. And I'm not talking about the gentrification. I'm not talking about the students who come here and pay cash to go to NYU. I am talking about the people who go to a methadone clinic down the goddamn street. And you think this is a protest? I gave my fucking blood, sweat, and tears for this country. I served this country for 10 goddamn years. So when you think about this anger and this fucking rage, because there's a way to get answers, every single last one of you better be fucking registered to vote. Yes, ma'am. Every single last one of you.
We are. Yeah.
So do me a favor, for every single person out here protesting, remember, there's 3 homeless men who rely on that as a charging station. And what? Will it even work now? For the sake of what? So you can go back home to your f***ing comforts. Sit in your house and think that you did some f***ing work today. There are people out here who work in these bodegas, who are security officers, who are maybe not descendants of slavery, but came over here as immigrants to do their jobs.
So great, everybody's.
And you created an unsafe goddamn environment. And I am tired of it. I don't care how you decide to organize and protest. But you don't f***ing riot. You don't burn in my goddamn neighborhood. I am a resident here. And you will f***ing realize this resident doesn't look like any of you. Because she is black. She has a f***ing right to be mad. But when you come in here with your f***ing privilege and you take down resources that my community needs, these houses, these buildings are dilapidated because of f***ing, we don't have patrons here. There are immigrants who f***ing built a f***ing eyebrow threading studio. And we got spray paint on their shit. So you want to f***ing do something? Make sure you're registered to vote. Don't start not a goddamn fire, and you better pass it on to all of your f***ing friends. You stay out of our f***ing
neighborhoods and you take this to the corporations, you take it to Wall Street, but you don't come on this block. Period. This is a neighborhood with immigrants, and you should treat it as such.
Yeah. I don't want back up. I've got to make sure they. Let's go. I don't want them to walk behind.
Let's go.
Really?
Come on, it's time to go. Yeah.
I don't want nobody to walk behind me. Okay, there you go. That's all you had to say. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Look, they all got their guns out. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired, man. They firing shots. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. They firing shots. The police came out, they started firing shots.
Stand up to this guy and proclaim our food. You fucker! You're not a black ally! You're not an ally! Alright?
كيف حكى له
هذا رصاص ودق.
ها دعس العساكر انانيكم واخي ما عطلك قول 10 عساكر لا حول ولا قوة انانيكم واحد يقزع فوق العساكر Peace, bro. واحد يجزع ما يحط له قول 10 عساكر والله من فوق.
What's going on, Facebook? Now, before I get started, I'm going to wait for some people to come on. because what's going on right now is just absolutely crazy. I'm going to wait for some people to come on Facebook, send out those notifications, because we need to talk, America. We need order in this country. This is just crazy what is going on. I'm still waiting for people to come on. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. Come on in, everybody. How y'all doing? I really want to know what is going on in this country. Seriously. Seriously. People are tearing down their own cities. And these politicians are allowing it to happen. And these Democratic-ran cities, these Democratic politicians are allowing people to burn down cities. How does that make any sense? And let me tell y'all something here, okay? George Floyd did not deserve to die. He didn't deserve to die. He didn't. And I believe those officers should be locked up, okay? But this is what I don't understand. Why are people rioting? Why are people burning down the city when most of the country believes that George Floyd did not deserve to die? President Trump instructed the FBI to investigate. So why are people burning down the city? George Floyd's the officers that killed him or whatever that are being charged for his murder, they have been arrested. So why are people burning down a city? This is what I don't understand. They are burning down stuff as if nothing is being done. Something is being done. So why are you burning stuff down? And then these same fools claim that Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, why in the hell are you burning down your own community? This is what I don't understand, y'all. Why would you ruin the lives of other black people because George Floyd died? That don't make any sense at all. Why would you burn down black businesses and then say Black Lives Matter when you just took a black person out of a job? Burning down Target doesn't have anything to do with the death of George Floyd. Target did not kill George Floyd, okay? Target did not shoot George Floyd. Target did not choke George Floyd. Walmart. Why did you burn down Walmart? Why did you burn down Walmart? Why would you burn down McDonald's? A burger did not kill George Floyd. This is what I don't understand. Stealing TVs has nothing to do with the death of George Floyd. Because people who really want change, they be the change. People who want change, they don't break into Target and steal TVs, flat screen TVs, 4K TVs. People who really want change, they don't run in Walmart and steal clothes and burn it down. These people don't want change. These people want a bunch of free shit. And that's why they stealing. And that's why they are burning up stuff. These people want chaos and they want free stuff. It just don't make sense at all. They acting like nobody cared about George Floyd. Everybody, I have not met one person. I have not met one person who sided with those police officers. I have not met one white person. I have not met one black person that sided with those officers, okay? But one thing that people need to know is that not every officer is a bad guy, okay? You have good cops and you have bad cops. People, listen to me, okay? You have good cops and you have bad cops. The same way you have good people and bad people. One cop made that decision to put his knee on the neck of that man. There is no sense to attack other officers who had nothing to do with the death of George Floyd, okay? It just don't make sense. Why would you want to harm and hurt an officer who had nothing to do with George Floyd's death? Just because one officer did it does not mean every officer should suffer for the actions of an individual officer. So let me break it down to you, okay? Because some people don't really understand, okay? If a black person kills somebody, you don't go out and protest against every black person because that one black person killed somebody. So you don't go out and try to harm every black person in America. You don't do that because I should not be held accountable for someone else's actions. So by y'all burning down the police stations, it's just ridiculous. And this is what I don't understand here. Are we really living in a country where people can get away with burning down a police station? These ghetto thugs burned down a police station and nobody went to jail. Nobody went to jail. What world are we living in where you can burn down a police station, where you can threaten the lives of innocent officers? Don't forget, people, police officers are human too, okay? They are human. They have families. They have children. So don't try to harm an innocent officer because one officer made a mistake. It's sad that I even have to explain this foolishness right now. It's sad that we even have to talk about this. They are burning down the city of Atlanta right now, people. Atlanta, we all know Atlanta, Georgia is full of black people. They have 50% of the businesses in Atlanta are owned by black people. So why are black people burning down those businesses? That is not Black Lives Matter. And I want people to understand what it means when you burn down Target and Walmart. Those black people that live in the community work at Target, you stupid ass people. Excuse my language. I hope y'all don't have any kids watching this video. Those people working at Target and Walmart, the people that work there live in your community. Those black people work there, and you took their job away when you burned it down. Now there's a black mother out there that don't have any money to feed her child now because you dummies burned her job down. Now there's a black father out there that cannot pay rent on the first because you dumb ass people, you dirty low down thugs, burned down his job. And then you want to scream Black Lives Matter. You don't give a damn about black people's lives. All you care about is yourself. I have never in my life met a person that claimed they cared about somebody and at the same time they burn everything they have. If you really care about somebody, why would you burn up their car? If you really care about somebody, why would you burn up their house? If you really care about somebody, why would you burn down their job? Why would you burn up a children's school? Why would you burn down a library? So now you don't want the young black children to have an education, so you burn down the black schools? That don't make no sense. And you want to say Black Lives Matter. You don't give a damn about nobody's life but yours. These people are downright selfish. They don't care about nobody. They don't care about white people. They don't care about black people. They don't care about Hispanics. They don't care about nobody. So miss me with that bull crap that they are doing it for George Floyd. These people are using George Floyd's name in his death as an excuse to act a plumb fool. People are using George Floyd's name in his death to steal and to burn down buildings. And these police officers need to lock these people up. They need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. They need to round all these thugs up and throw them in a state penitentiary. And I don't give a damn if I gotta pay more taxes because we got more people in prison. These people need to go to prison. And I'm willing to pay more taxes. Just so they can be locked up where they belong. In a cell. That's where animals belong. These people are animals. That's how animals act. Because you know what? Animals don't even act like that. These people are beyond animals. I know dogs that have more sense than these people. Don't make no sense at all. I just don't understand. And then people want to call me a coon and an Uncle Tom and say I hate black people. I'm black. I don't hate black people. But I'm not about to sit up here and race bait. I'm not about to sit up here and say all white people are racist because that's a damn lie. Every white person is not racist. Just because one cop did something does not make all people racist. And I'm not about to sit up here and trash white people. I'm not about to sit up here and trash one group of people. Because every white person should not be held accountable for the actions of one white person. Everybody is their own individual person, okay? So they should not be held accountable. I don't want to hear that bull crap. We need order. These people need to be labeled as terrorists. These people burned down a police station. And let me tell y'all something here. A lot of people are not thinking of this, okay? These people burned down pharmacies. So now you have an elderly lady that cannot get her medicine because these ghetto fools burned down the pharmacy. Now you have a sick child. Now you have cancer patients who can't get their medicine on time because these dummies burned down the pharmacy. And another thing, burning down a police station, that means they burned down evidence. Evidence that could have convicted somebody that's being accused of rape. But now guess what? The rape victim won't get justice because these dummies burned up all the evidence. They burned up evidence that could have locked up somebody that killed somebody. But guess what? That person won't get justice now. These people are taking away justice from other people. They are ruining the lives of other people, so now more people need justice. Burning down a police station? You probably burned down evidence that could have helped find a missing child, but you burned down the police station and now they can't find that child. You people don't think. So stupid. Let me get off of here, okay? Because I'm getting really pissed off right now. Y'all have a great day and please be safe out there. God bless.
Just get out of the way, you head. Oh. Ooh. Come on, mother. Out of here. Tough my road next time you go.
This moment, there's a bill pending in the Congress called the New Way Forward Act. It's received almost no publicity, and that's unfortunate as well as revealing. The legislation is sponsored by 44 House Democrats, including Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's roughly 4,400 words long. That means it's almost exactly as long as the U.S. Constitution. Like the Constitution, it's designed to create a whole new country. The bill would entirely remake our immigration system with the explicit purpose of ensuring that criminals are able to move to the United States and settle here permanently with immunity. Now, you may think we're exaggerating for effect, but we're not exaggerating, not even a little bit. The New Way Forward Act is the single most radical piece of legislation we have ever seen proposed in this country, ever. It makes the Green New Deal look like the status quo. A document produced by Democrats to promote the bill says this, and we're quoting it verbatim. Convictions should not lead to deportation, end quote. Now keep in mind, we're not talking about convictions for double parking or even for DUI. The bill targets felony convictions, serious crimes that could send you to prison for years, and should. A press release from Congressman Jesus Garcia of Illinois is explicit about this. Garcia brags that the bill will break the, quote, prison to deportation pipeline, something most of us were for. So how does the bill do that? Well, under current U.S. law, legal U.S. immigrants can be deported if they commit a, quote, aggravated felony or a crime of moral turpitude. That is a vile, depraved act like molesting children. Under the New Way Forward Act, crimes of moral turpitude are eliminated entirely as justification for deportation. And the category of aggravated felony gets eliminated too. So what does that mean? Consider this. Under current law, immigrants who commit serious crimes, robbery to fraud to child sexual abuse, must be deported regardless of the sentences they receive. Other crimes, less severe ones like racketeering, require deportation if the perpetrator receives at least a 1-year sentence. Under this bill, there would no longer be any crime that automatically requires deportation. None. And one crime, falsifying a passport, would be made immune from deportation no matter what, because apparently 9/11 never even happened, and we no longer care about fake government documents. By the way, if you just renewed your driver's license to comply with the Real ID Act, you must feel like an idiot, because immigrants are getting a pass, you're not. Under the proposed legislation, for crimes that would still allow deportation, the required prison sentence would rise from 1 year to 5 years. We checked the Bureau of Justice statistics. According to federal data, crimes like car theft, fraud, and weapons offenses all carry average prison sentences of fewer than 5 years. And that's just looking at averages. There are people who commit rape, child abuse, even manslaughter, and get sentences with fewer than 5 years. Lots of them, actually. If the New Way Forward Act passes, immigrants who commit those crimes and receive those sentences would remain in this country, and of course, they will be eligible for citizenship day one, too, of course. But even that is understating the law's effect. Even a 5-year prison sentence wouldn't necessarily be enough to trigger deportation. The bill would grant sweeping new powers to immigration judges, allowing them to nullify a deportation order. The only requirement for that is, quote, the immigration judge finds such an exercise of discretion appropriate in pursuant of humanitarian purposes, to assure family unity, or when it is otherwise in the public interest. Talk about open-ended. In other words, anti-American immigration judges, and there are a lot of those in this country, would have a blank check to open the borders. You would not be voting on this. It would happen anyway. Is this shocking you yet? Because we're just getting started. We read this proposed legislation. Here's another point. Current U.S. law makes drug addiction grounds for deportation because why wouldn't it? This bill would eliminate that statute. Current law also states that those who have committed drug crimes abroad or, quote, any crimes involving moral turpitude are ineligible to immigrate here. The New Way Forward Act abolishes that statute. So a Mexican drug cartel leader could be released from prison, then freely come to America immediately. And if he wants, he could come here illegally, and it still wouldn't be a crime because, and you were waiting for this part, the bill also decriminalizes illegal entry into America, even by those we've previously deported. In other words, you break our law, we send you out, you come back, you break it again, you can stay. According to a document promoting this bill, criminalizing illegal entry into America is, quote, white supremacist. That's a quote, white supremacist. Now, by this point, you're beginning to wonder, are we making this up? We're not making it up. In fact, we're barely halfway through the bill. The legislation doesn't just make it harder to deport illegal immigrants who commit crimes. It doesn't just make it easier for criminals to move here illegally, though it does both. The bill would also effectively abolish all existing enforcement against illegal immigration. To detain illegal immigrants, ICE would have to prove in court that they are dangerous or a flight risk. But of course, ICE wouldn't be allowed to use a detainee's prior criminal behavior as proof of danger. That's banned. ICE would have to overcome even more hurdles if the detainee claims to be gay or transgendered. If they're under 21 or if they can't speak English and an interpreter isn't immediately available, they get a pass. In other words, it would be much harder to arrest an illegal alien in this country than it is to arrest you. They're the protected class here. You're just some loser who's paying for it all. But believe it or not, we saved the nuttiest part of this legislation for last, and here's what it is. What could be more destructive than changing U.S. law specifically to allow rapists, child molesters, and drug dealers to stay in America? How about this? Using taxpayer money to bring deported criminals back into America. That's right. This bill would not only abolish your right to control who lives in your country, but it invents a brand new right. Quote, the right to come home. It orders the government to create a, quote, pathway for those previously deported to apply to return to their homes and families in the United States, as long as they would have been eligible to stay under the new law. It's retroactive, in other words. DHS must spend taxpayer dollars transporting convicted criminal illegal aliens back into the United States. Not making this up. So who would be eligible for these flights? Tens of thousands of people we kicked out of this country for all kinds of crimes. Sexual abuse, robbery, assault, drug trafficking, weapons trafficking, human trafficking. From 2002 to 2018, 480,000 people were deported for illegal entry or re-entry into America. And under this bill, you'd have to buy each of them a plane ticket to come home. Those tickets alone would cost about $1 billion. And that's before Democrats make you start paying for these criminals free health care, too, which they plan to do and have said so. The New Way Forward Act fundamentally inverts every assumption you have about this country. Under this legislation, the criminals are now the victims. Law enforcement is illegitimate. It's racist, just like the country you live in, just like you are. And the only solution is to get rid of both. America would be better off as a borderless rest stop for the world's predators and parasites. That's the point of this. And we're not overstating. Go read it. This is a big deal. This is not a small thing. This is not renaming a post office. It's hard to believe any American would put these ideas on paper, much less try to pass them into law. And yet, remarkably, that's happening. And even more remarkably, the press has ignored it. This isn't happening in secret. It's happening in the House of Representatives. Scores of Democrats have backed this bill. But the legislation has not been mentioned in the New York Times, hasn't been mentioned on CNN, a news channel, or even in self-described conservative outlets like National Review. No mention. Consider if this were working the other way. If a lone, Republican state legislator from Minot, North Dakota had proposed a bill this extreme that would remake America completely, the president himself would be expected to answer for it. CNN would demand that he disavow it, even if he'd never heard of it before. But when 1/5 of the entire Democratic caucus backs a bill demanding that you import illegal alien felons and then pay for it, it's a non-event in the American media. They don't think you should know about it. And that's dangerous, if we're being honest. Whether the press cares or not, these are the stakes of the 2020 election, and you have a right to know what they are. A growing wing of the Democratic Party views America itself as essentially illegitimate, a rogue state in which everything must be destroyed and remade. Our laws, our institutions, our customs, our freedoms, our history, our values. And of course, that's the point of all of this. An entirely new country in which resistance is crushed and they're in charge forever.